Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. We are Larcher and Lawrenson, and we are coming at you from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States of America. It is 6:30 p.m. That's when we do this show weekly here on Pacific Time. You can always find us on Twitch, on YouTube. You can watch us there. You can watch us on Facebook Live and on Twitter. You can listen to us live on Blog Talk Radio. Join in the conversation at 760-454-8834 there on the Joseph Meets Hotline, which is where today we will have a guest, Dustin out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, to discuss a discrepancy with Yahoo Fantasy Football. I feel like I'm a little bit distorted today.
Well, you're coming out of the COVID, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really coming out of the COVID. Listen later on over on Spotify and anywhere you get your podcasts. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Larcher Than Life on Twitter, the one and only Alfred Ferdinand Larcher III.
Trace amigo, welcome to the program. My name is Alfred Ferdinand Larcher III. He, of course, is Clark Lawrenson. It's another exciting edition live from the Sports Attic as we discuss many things. You know, there's a planned protest right now in Jacksonville. I don't know if you've heard about this, where everyone's going to go to the game dressed as clowns to support their local football team. I think we should probably do something here in Chicago. I was offered tickets to go to the Giants game Sunday. I immediately turned it down. I didn't even think about it. I posted a cold face emoji, and I said, it's too damn cold. I'm not going to the Bears game. I have no interest in going to the Bears game. I have no interest in leaving the house. I wish I had the COVID again, Clark.
I would hope that whoever offered you the tickets was not offended by that at all. You come back with an emoji, and sometimes that might be looked at as maybe some would think that it's disingenuous. But for me, it was cold as hell on Sunday. There was no reason to leave the house. Hell, I couldn't leave the house.
Clark, there's Sunday. There's supposed to be like a high of 0 this week. 0.
Jesus. I don't think I can leave the house this Sunday either. So
no, this is ridiculous. You know, we go from COVID to deep freeze. It's not fair, man.
No.
You know, Chicago, what a lovely place to live.
Yeah, it is what it is. There was no reason to go watch that game. I had it on the TV here, Al, but I didn't catch much of it. I don't know if you were awake at the time of the game, but we didn't really miss all that much, even though it was a pretty lopsided victory for the Chicago Bears over the Mike Glennon-led New York Giants.
You remember that commercial, Clark? By Menon. Well, like 100 years ago, I was playing Madden football with my buddy, and he drafted Mike Glennon. And anytime we played, I just kept going, Mike Glennon. And then that forever stuck. And then, of course, you know, he came to the Bears. And
every time I hear his name, I hear you do that. And that's from back in our day, by Menon, which was like a deodorant commercial.
It was, it was like a men's products, I think, you know?
Yep.
They had the women had secrets, strong enough for a man, but pH balance for women. Well, we had by Menon.
Right.
So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, buddy. Yeah. So you had a round with COVID a couple weeks back. I just had my round of COVID here. Tried to keep it down in the basement from Thursday through yesterday morning. But yesterday morning, after a couple negative tests, my wife tested positive. Now we're pretty sure that the girls have it. So now we can roam through the whole place. So I got the vacation. My wife really is getting the short end of the stick, brother. Lauren's getting the short end here, where she had to stick down to the basement. She didn't get a chance to stick down in the basement like I did. So now
everybody's got the COVID. So now everyone's allowed anywhere in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where we're going with it. The isolation station has been shut down. So we'll see. I took a positive rapid this morning on my day 5. And we'll see. Yesterday I had taken a negative rapid, but we'll see what happens.
Why were you going to places to get tested? Why weren't you just using the home things?
Because those are like gold sometimes to find. We do have a few here now.
Up until about a week ago, they were at Walgreens. I mean, there's a Walgreens on every corner in Chicago. There's a corner on every corner in Chicago. So I mean, like they were everywhere. Like I had a ton of them. I had stocks of them. I had more COVID testing than pizzas, frozen pizzas.
Right.
Now they're gone. Now it's over.
And you got to be careful where you're going for these tests, because these mom and pop shops, I call them, they're just a storefront where anybody can buy these. You got to make a ton of money out. You want to rack it. I think right now it's some testing. And now that you just had it and I just had it, maybe in a week, that's what we should do. Because we got the power up, right?
I'm a 2-time COVID survivor. You could put my picture on the wall like the Hungry Hound, and I'll sign it 2-time survivor, and you can come in, Dr. Larcher. My dad was a chiropractor, so I think maybe he might have some cards.
Dino's got a bunch in his basement. He's ready to give us for $99.99 over there on Twitch.
That's going to be the retail price, $99.99. You come in hell.
I'll give you 2 for $79.99. How about that? There you go.
It's not bad. You buy one, get one free.
Uh-huh.
At $79.99. Oh boy.
I don't know. We'll see. The PCR testing the results are supposed to be back in weeks. The rapid testings are better for if you have symptoms, it'll show up. I don't know. And it's all a crapshoot now anyway.
I took the instant test. I shoved a couple swabs up my nose, came back positive. I went to the doctor and I got the longer term test. That came back positive too. I don't know why I needed both, but I was being thorough.
Yeah,
unlike the Chicago Bears.
Absolutely. What'd you see of that game? What do we get out of that game? Anything? What are we going to get out of Sunday for the Bears game?
Oh, they're still playing that game? I would take my shirt off and just be like, we're out of here.
It sounded likely that that Justin Fields is going to start the last game. That's something else. Matt Nagy definitely wanted to go out a winner, padding his stats a little bit. Playing guys that he just thinks will win, not guys that have a shot at the future, Like we want to get a good look at Tevin Jenkins. Let's put in Peters, where Peters should already let him go home, pay him his money, let him go fishing. It's got to be fishing season in the South somewhere right now. Let him go. I appreciate him coming in and trying to get the job done, but I think it's time to roll on for him.
Dude, sticking those swabs up your nose is about as comfortable as the Bears running the Wildcat formation. I mean, it's just gross. I think I'd rather shove them up another part of my body.
Yeah. What did you think? Did you see the second to last play of the entire game? Was a pass from out of the Wildcat finally? Montgomery threw an interception?
No, I didn't see. I didn't watch any football. My sleep has been so screwed up coming out of COVID that I finished my fantasy football work and I went to bed, and next thing you know, it was time for Dungeons and Dragons. So, it's just one of those days. And, then I went back and then I had to find out about the Antonio Brown stuff. I had to find out about all the craziness that was happening during the week, and it was fun.
I mean, I'm not going to be salty about it, but Antonio Brown cost me a championship. So did me playing Williams instead of A.J. Dillon.
Clark, in my championship game, my one championship game, I had Jamar Chase sitting on the sideline.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Absolutely cost me. I lost by 30 points. He would have given me 50. I would have won by 20.
That I was planning to play and I forgot to pull the trigger. Because, I have all this extra time in the basement. You'd think I'd use it researching fantasy football, DraftKings, going with what you tell me, Al, in DraftKings. If you're playing in the tournament, you've got to if you're playing in the tournament, then you've got to watch out for ownership. Don't play the guys.
Got to be under 13.5%. If you're playing teams in mass tournaments over 13.5 average player ownership, you're wasting money. Every winner this year has been under 13.5 ownership, which makes all the difference in the world. So that's the
Well-
easiest edge there is in the game.
Well, I'm telling you, I didn't pay a damn bit of attention to it. Well, no, I did to that, but I didn't have much to ownership this time. I think you might be happy with the teams that I played. We'll get to that later. But what I'm saying is I ended up not spending all that much time, and I forgot to stack my Burrows. I was going to do a Burrows and Chase stack this week with a run back of Kelsey, which the Kelsey thing didn't prove to be the hottest thing, but I ended up fading off of the Kansas City game, which was the highest. It had the highest total score going into the week, right? I don't know why the hell I did it.
Yeah, but you were, because of the ownership, Clark. It is a dangerous. The game actually, you could get there, and I got there, and I had some decent teams this week. I took 25th, I think, out of 100,000 people. I mean, it might have been 27,000 people. Anyways, it was a lot of people. I took 25th out of, and I did it with a stack. You know what stack was really the key? You know what the key stack was, Clark? It was a low-owned stack.
The what?
Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. Metcalf, huh?
People were playing. Nobody was playing Russ Wilson. Russ Wilson had less than 1% ownership. So if he had 0.5% ownership. So if you played the Seattle stack, which there was some reason to, there was some optimism going in. It wasn't a crazy stack. You're not playing. See, some people think when you say contrarian, it means you play the New York Giants stack. No, you don't play things that don't make sense. But there was statistical data showing a ceiling towards the Seattle game. And sure enough, that stack ends up going off. And if you play it, because Russ Wilson only has 0.5 point of ownership, you have an advantage over 99.5% of the field. You have a real chance at making money, which is why I jumped to 25th place. So, contrarian always pays. It doesn't always pay. As a matter of fact, statistically, it pays a lot less. But it's the only way you're going to hit big. It's the only way you're going to hit a home run. Otherwise, you're just playing, you play really high ownership in the Millie Maker, and it's enough to get your money back. Like, it's going to put points up. You have a good chance you may even have a better chance than I do of making money in a given week, but you have zero chance of winning $1 million, which is why you're playing that high stakes tournament. So,
Fair.
Just something to think.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do want to get more into that. One thing that I wanted to discuss, though, as I mentioned earlier, Al, was Yahoo Fantasy Football. A little bit of controversy this morning. You've played a year-long fantasy football for a long time. You're commissioner of a league. You've been commissioner of multiple leagues before. And stat corrections do happen from time to time. There was a play in the game where special teams got a safety against Buffalo. Got a safety. The other team got a safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
On special teams. Normally, safeties do not count against the defense because it's the offense giving it up. So they don't count it. So they didn't count it. Last night on a tweet, they responded with, "This doesn't count." This morning, they corrected that.
Uh-oh.
This morning, they said, since it was on special teams and it's called Buffalo defense or special teams, we are going to fix this mistake. Meaning, Buffalo gave up 29 points or whatever, however many points. They gave up 2 more points. So it dropped the Buffalo defense total score. And we're in the foosball. Derek ended up winning the league because of this once this correction occurred. And my thought is, okay, they got the stats right. So be it. But then you go and you take a look at some things, and it doesn't look quite as we once thought.
Really?
It looks as though they may have changed their rules.
Uh-oh. Can't do that.
Right? Like you can't change the rules as you go to fit your narrative, right?
Judge Judy would say, you can't go to a restaurant, look at the menu, pick out a steak, order the steak, and then they bring you spaghetti. If you order the steak, you get the steak. You can't change things mid-course. The menu, the order's been placed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. Uh-oh.
6:45, baby.
It is 6:45. It must be. Hang on just a minute, Al. Let me Let me see if I got our guest coming.
All right. Well, this is I don't know what the guest is going to offer, but this is going to be some exciting podcasting because listen, the rules are the rules. If you have the rules and they're set, you don't change the rules. You can't change the rules. If
Right.
there is no rule, if there's an absent, and there's a lawyer out there, right? If there's an absent of a rule, you can create a rule for the future, but ex post facto, you can't punish or change based on a rule that never existed.
Right.
Yes, Marcus will be on shortly to explain
So with
the
that
rule changes in fantasy football.
Archer, I want to go to the Joseph's Finest Meat hotlines at this moment.
Okay.
Joseph's Finest Meats down on Addison over there by Harlem. Check them out sometime if you get a chance. We're going to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Dustin's kind enough to step out from his gig at an Irish bar as a kitchen manager. So we don't have too much time with Dustin, but Dustin, I wanted to bring you on. Thank you for joining the show here. And tell us how this went down for you, or was it for your significant other with this whole Buffalo defense?
Nice to be on the show today, guys. Nice to meet you. It was actually for my significant other. My wife is in a work league, and they don't play for any money. They literally just play for bragging rights. And we've been to the Super Bowl 3 times and never been able to win. But this year, Najee Harris was able to do it on that final rush, and Buffalo had already put up 21.8 points on Sunday. And sure enough, I go to bed with my wife on, Monday night thinking we're champs. Wake up Monday morning, I've got 3 totally different scores. One said I had 114, one said I had 137, one said I had 142, one said I lost, one said I won, all on the app. Couldn't figure it out. Finally went to Reddit, kind of got some information from Yahoo Fantasy Customer Care, and really they kind of just beat around the bush. And at 9:50, I got on there and I saw that their rules, the area that they directed us to, was to show that it said specifically that safeties did not count towards defensive special teams for points against, points allowed. And then sure enough, 10:30, I get back on there because they redirected me, reached out on the DM and was like, we wanted to give you some clarification. And sure enough, the clarification, they totally changed the entire text.
So yeah,
changed it all.
Wow.
Right now I'm showing them the first screenshot that you had posted earlier with the question mark and the exclamation point, where they had originally said that, items that don't count toward points allowed are safeties. And in the meantime, Yahoo went and, as you just said, changed it to this. And it looks like they're continuing to back this up without explaining how they can change the rules midweek.
They really are. And that's kind of the point that I get is, like, I understand if a rule doesn't have enough clarification. I work in the restaurant industry, so we're always changing and we have to adapt things. But making on-the-fly decisions in the middle of a work week or the middle of a fantasy championship 17 weeks in just doesn't compute with ethically or an integrity-based company. I mean, it's just sometimes where you just got to wait till next season. I don't understand how they're able to continually say we didn't change the rules. We just gave further clarification. And they absolutely, during the game on Sunday, the Bills, they tweeted from Yahoo Fantasy Care, safeties don't count against points allowed. And
wow.
So, I mean, during the game, they were able to say that, and then they immediately go and say something else. It's just frustrating. Frustrating because I know a lot of people gamble on there. I know a lot of people have some money on the line. And, I didn't gamble on this one. We just do it for fun, but it's more about principle for me.
Well, and Dustin, as I was telling Al just a bit ago, like, stat corrections happen and they're a pain in the ass. And especially when it happens with championship games. I mean, it's a real kick in the balls, but you got to go by what the stats say. But as I had seen you discuss and many others, precedent was set. This game here, December 20th, I believe it was last year, New Orleans. It shows right there that the defense gave up 29, but they only counted 27 against it right there.
Exactly. And it was almost the exact same as what happened is the punter got it and he ran back and they were trying to do a catch and run, but he fumbled it and went in the end zone. And then you have another instance on week 2 with Pittsburgh where it happened. And they tackled him in the end zone for a safety and it didn't get adjusted. That's just the frustrating part is that there was no rule change or any kind of change on their yahoosportshelp.com that said any type of change until 2 days after the game. I'm just not sure how it's right.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I hope you move this forward. You take it to the Supreme Court of fantasy football because, this is It's wrong, man. It is wrong. You were cheated. I feel for you. And if you win, I think you should be named the winner, or you should name yourself the winner of your league. Anybody who's in this situation, and there is no asterisk involved. You are straight up the winner.
Yep. They did. They actually all met at lunch today at work, and they discussed the issue. And I took me and my daughter up there, and they all voted that she's the winner. So we're all good, and we're leaving Yahoo Sports forever.
Wow!
Congratulations on the win.
Dustin,
And I think that's a strong statement. I'm leaving Yahoo Sports too. Any league I'm in, I'm out.
Absolutely. I'm in 3 leagues there at Commish too, and I'm in another one, and we're absolutely out. And I've seen multiple. I've had at least 30 people today on Twitter and on Reddit that have told me that they're taking multiple leagues and leaving. So, I mean, I think that it'll at least make a 7%, 8, maybe 9% drop in user rate. But, I mean, as long as it affects it somehow, they need to see what's happening. I mean, this is you just can't do that. You just can't do that, guys.
Dustin,
really
we've held you up a long
gentlemen.
Yeah, we've held you up a long time here. I hope you're not having too busy of a night or just busy enough for yourself. What's your best dish at the Irish bar you're at?
Oh man, I'm running a O'Malley's Smithwick's Irish beef stroganoff right now. They just absolutely knock it out of the park.
Oh, awesome. I'm in. Dustin, thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night, brother.
Yeah, you guys have a great night.
Congrats to
on Twitter for the podcast so I can listen and tune in every week, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Dustin.
Appreciate it. Take care.
No problem. Have a great night.
Yep. Hey, there we go. That was Dustin down in Tulsa.
Well, we do have some clarification. Our lawyer, our legal expert, the show's legal expert, Dino Mount Green, as you would call him, I prefer Dino, says, as the lawyer, you are making an ex post facto rule by making the decision in the first place. If this is a matter of first impression, meaning that there is no rule and you have to make a decision, then you are making a rule for the situation. Then, if you are following precedent, you try to treat it the same way. But if you have a rule posted and then changed, that's not cool. So,
yeah,
a little clarification there. But the bottom line is, if what was existed was changed, I mean that is a violation of trust. That is misconduct. I think the league, the NFL should get involved. I think what's his name, the president guy. It used to be Tagliabue back in the day. What's the Tagliabue's name now?
Goodell.
Goodell, that's right.
Goodell.
You know, if Goodell should get involved, I mean, I think the United States Congress should get involved. I mean, this is corruption. It's corruption. This is Chicago in a nutshell, right here.
Yeah, it sure is. Hey, let's not stay off the line here. We're going to hear from a guy we haven't heard in a few weeks right now. We're heading out east. We're going to go out to New Jersey here. And
Lou,
give me just a moment. I got to find the button. I've got to hit it. I'm pretty sure it's Jersey Lou.
And I do want to get into what Hub said about Aaron Rodgers. I missed it. So you fill me in, and I'll let you know if Hub's wrong. Hub's wrong a lot, by the way.
We'll get to that in a moment. But right now we got Lou on the phone. Lou, how you doing?
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back, Lou. Hey, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you. And our show's back in session this week. So if you get a chance, call in.
Well, welcome back. You had a couple holiday weekends for your Saturday at, is it 4 p.m. our time?
Yes. 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. my time.
That's awesome. That's great.
No one got the COVID out there, Lou? Everyone's healthy?
Our positive rate is like 24%, but
nice.
Very few deaths, but a lot more people are coming down with it.
Seems like the deaths are staying down, which is good. Al and I have both spent a couple weeks on the shelf here with it, so we're doing okay. We're back. What do you got there, Al? You doing blackberries to help prevent the COVID? Is that
doing some blackberries. Good blackberries.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you got to see that football game, huh? Did you watch that Giants-Bears game?
Well, the Jets were on the same time, so I was watching that. But
good.
That was no contest with the Giants and the Bears. You know, I think we probably knew that was going to happen that way, so I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. It was it was a game. It was Mike Glennon really helping the Bears, really earning the $18 million the Bears gave him. So
exactly. Oh. Yeah, it was by Glennon. You see, now you got me doing it.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I don't think I listen to what goes on before I come on. Because I do listen to it before I get on here.
Yeah, he does, Clark.
hey.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being back. My apologies for that night. I was having a rough go, and I apologize, Lou. I know you were there that night, and then you headed out. I appreciate that you joined us again.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thankfully, it's the last game of the season with the Giants and Jets, because we really thought maybe Zachy Boy was going to help the Jets, but he hasn't done much. I mean, he's almost as a sweater stuffer, which hasn't done anything for the Panthers either. Ugh.
No.
One bad quarterback after another. Just unbearable.
Hey, Lou, how's the chicken situation? I went grocery shopping yesterday, and I notice every week I go grocery shopping, there's less and less chicken. Have you noticed this?
You notice that too?
Yeah.
No, we've been having. Yeah, they really flew the coop on this one.
Oh man, that was where's the drum on that one, Al? The drum kit for that. There we go, Lou.
Yeah,
I've noticed wing
really
prices are up.
That laid a bad egg, didn't it? Oh.
Yeah, I don't. So I went grocery shopping yesterday, and there's never in my life have I gone into a grocery store and there's stuff missing. Now it's not like bad. It's not like scary. Like there's nothing on the shelves.
Not like
you can get whatever you want, but a lot of like certain brands are missing.
Yeah, well, Jersey, was affected pretty hard.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, the way I look at it is you have one more week of New York professional football. We've got one more week of Chicago professional football. Coach already has coach for the Giants is sticking around, they said.
I know why they're going to keep him. I just don't get it.
Well, I'm glad they said that. I am slightly scared that the powers that be of the Chicago Bears are going to watch these last 3 games and somehow decide to keep him. I know it. I think it's an irrational fear. Al, I don't know if you're with me at all on that, but
yeah,
man.
Yeah, I think they fired. I mean, I think for sure the coach is fired, and then I think Pace sticks around. As I said weeks ago, my inside source at Hallis Hall, predicted this weeks ago. He told me straight up, look, they're going to fire Nagy. They were planning on doing it after the Packers game, but they found out the guy said something, and then they changed it. But my source inside of Hallis Hall says for sure Nagy is being fired, and Pace is sticking around.
6 days away.
There you go. Lou, thanks for joining us. Guys, listen to Lou's show on Blog Talk Radio every Saturday. What's that?
It's not on Blog Talk. That's why some people probably don't get through.
Oh, you left Blog Talk. Where are we at?
We're at Uber now.
Uber,
yeah. No, it's not related. It's not related to that Uber. Not related.
Oh, the other Uber. Okay.
I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay, we're not ordering food here. So anyway.
So what kind of food are you selling now, Lou? What do you got, like chickens or?
No, we don't do that. Uber has a different service that's not related to the Uber you're thinking of.
Oh! You pick us up with your car. What kind of car do you got?
No,
not car service either. It's just an internet provider, another internet service. Oh. But actually, it's my 3rd year with the service here. My 5th year. We're starting our 5th year this week, so it's a milestone. So the number is 512-543-4662. We'll discuss the last week of the NFL season. I'll take predictions on the college football championship, which is Monday night. So if you're going to call, hold up your predictions. We'll discuss the Pro Bowl of who has the better selections. Do I think some may have gotten too many? Yeah, I do, but I'll discuss that later. We'll have some Olympic news. Not very cheery though. And if there's any more information on the MLB lockout, we'll bring up. Actually, I did find something on the lockout, but it's not good news. So, but I always need to be the bearer of bad news, but as a reporter, I must.
All right. Well,
Now,
brother,
Lou, is it Looper like Lou, like Looper?
Very funny.
well,
No, it's the same spelling. UBB. or whatever it is. But
I'm trying to find him.
just call the number. I just call the number I gave you, and I'll get you in.
All right.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Well, I'm adding a new Uber app to my already plethora of Uber apps, and I look forward to popping on a little of the Lou Show and catching up on some Olympic news. I'm excited.
All right, Lou.
And a lot more.
We'll
6 your time, 5 to 7 mine.
Yep, we'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you, Lou. We'll see you Saturday,
All right,
4
thanks,
p.m.
guys.
local time. See you later. The Joseph Finest Meats Hotline. That is Lou. You can join us here on the show. Give us a call at 760-454-8834. 760-454-8834. If you have a thought that's rational, give us a call. If you have a thought that's not rational, give us a call. If you don't have any thoughts, we'll take those calls as well.
Well, if you have no thoughts, then just drop an application because you could be one of the hosts.
Now, I know Lou's still listening, of course. So, but what I got to say is, why in the hell would you have the name Uber if you're a broadcaster right now? Wouldn't you change it?
And why in the hell would you play in a fantasy football league for no money? I've been both perplexing all around. The questions coming through the phone lines today.
I didn't know. It sounds like it's a pretty important work league for the misses, though. So
yeah, I mean, there was family involved. I get it. Yeah.
I'm sitting here, our league, it's a difference of $25. So nobody's really flipping out over it right now in that Ross league, right? In the foosball, which you and I have chatted a lot in a long time. But in most leagues, like, it's a difference of $150, $200 here that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of a big deal. When I first saw it, I'm like, you know what? Stat corrections happen. That's how it goes. That's what's going to happen now. But man.
But when you change the rule, the whole thing. So what's this Hub Arkish controversy? What did he open his mouth with this time? Who's he throwing a pencil at now?
Hub's got an issue with Aaron Rodgers. He thinks, that stuff in the offseason was bad.
Yeah, it was. So
and then he wasn't too happy with him for getting suspended for the things that he said and talked about. He's not a fan of that.
Wah.
He basically said that he has been the MVP on the field. However, when it came time to play against Kansas City, he was suspended.
Wah! He got suspended. Wah! The guy single-handedly dominated, him, Tom Brady, or Jonathan Taylor. Those are my only three options at MVP.
Hub currently has an MVP vote, and he's going to be voting. And on Bernstein and Rahimi earlier, he first announced that vote would not be going to Aaron Rodgers. And that's what the folks, the Twitchers here with us tonight, all of our Twitchers chatting over in the Twitch chat. If you're not on Twitch, if you're watching this on one of the many other apps, those of you on Facebook have been there a long time. We appreciate it, of course. Join in over there on Twitch, and you can follow us. We need more followers, so create 1,000 accounts. Talk to your friends. Talk to whatever. We're not shameful here. Maybe don't create a Not if you're girlfriend. You're not. Anyways, over there, that's where the guys have asked us, the guys and gals and all the folks over there have asked us, hey, what's going on? So what do you think of Hub for that, Al? That they want your opinion.
Well, I mean, you can make an argument Aaron Rodgers is not the MVP of the league. That's a fair argument to have. Jonathan Taylor has single-handedly carried the Indianapolis Colts on his back. He's the last of the Mohicans, surviving each and every injury while all the other primary backs go out injured. You hear that, Clark? The Wambulance is coming again for Hub Arkish. Anyways,
I enjoy Hub sometimes for just the old school thoughts that are just a lot of them outdated at this point. But yeah, in all honesty, I think he's off base. Like you got to judge the athletes for what they're doing on the field.
If it comes down to the question of his antics off the field, you're not giving him an MVP vote because of off the field stuff, then yeah, that is completely wrong, and he's completely out of line. And quite frankly, I think they should take the vote away from him.
Well, if we're talking about precedent, maybe we should go back to when the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl. And it was pretty obvious that Ray Lewis was the star of that game. Probably should have been, not often does it happen. Richard Dent was the defensive player who won it. But not often does it happen that you're, the linebacker is going to be the MVP. But he probably could have been that. But they went ahead and gave it to the quarterback, Dilfer, in that game so that he could say, I'm going to Disney World. In that case, the precedent was set that, hey, his off-field antics probably kept him from getting Super Bowl MVP. Am I wrong?
I'm pulling up right now my bets for MVP. So I'll tell you who should be the MVP here. Let's see. Open. Log in. Why am I logged out?
I'll tell you about. I made a couple of irrational bets. I put $3 on the combination of Franz Wagner from Orlando being Rookie of the Year, and I parlayed that with DeMar DeRozan being the MVP of the NBA. If you're talking bets, and I also made a $1 bet on Io Dunsumo winning Rookie of the Year, and parlayed that. My $1 would turn into over $1,000. Parlayed, like, it's not going to happen, but those are just my silly bets that I made this week. I parlayed it with DeMar DeRozan as well.
Okay, here, let's see how I'm doing so far, Clark. Coach of the Year, $15, pays out $255. Ron Rivera.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. That's not going to pay out.
Nope.
Oh, here's a brilliant bet. $10 pays out $260. Coach of the Year, Vic Fangio.
Oh, that's not going to pay out.
No. Oh, here's a genius. This one, my God, this one should be in the Hall of Fame of bets. $20 pays out $1,222. MVP of the league, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. What's Tua?
He's the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins club.
Right.
That was wrong.
And you had him for MVP. Whew.
MVP of the league, $25, pays out $525. Justin Herbert.
And no dice.
No dice. All right, my final one. This is a big one. $25, $850 payout. This is the one that's probably going to get me there. MVP of the league, Matt Ryan.
Ooh. No.
Yeah, all my cities, busted all along.
I think your best one currently, my app's showing me, is Herbert at 10,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Right now, Aaron Rodgers minus 400. This is on DraftKings. Tom Brady plus 500. Joe Burrow plus 1,000.
Yeah, Burrow's making a case late because of he's winning a lot of fantasy football for people.
Yeah, he is. Couldn't get it done for me in the championship. I ended up losing by 2 points. I was hoping for a stat correction, but didn't get the old Buffalo stat correction there.
Oh boy.
DeMar DeRozan, the first player ever to hit back-to-back game-winning three-pointers, back-to-back nights. The last player to do it on back-to-back games was Larry Bird. DeMar DeRozan has hit another level, and he went the night he hit that second shot. So one of the members of the mob was able to get on him for 8,500 to 1 odds. 8,500 to 1 odds.
Wow.
By the time I looked within minutes, it was down to 2,800 to 1. That's what
insane.
It was. So it was crazy. There's something that I need to discuss with you. There is it's kind of a crazy bet, Al. Give me a moment here. If the Jaguars beat the Colts at noon on Sunday,
yeah,
there is a game that night. And this comes from Adam Beasley. Totally bonkers. If the Colts lose to the Jaguars Sunday, the Raiders, I'm retweeting this from my account right now at Clark in Chicago. The Raiders and Chargers would both get in with a tie. literally there would be no motivation for either team to do anything other than kneel it out 15 times.
Wow.
If they tie, they both get in at that point. So obviously I went over and I made a bet over on FanDuel. I parlayed the Jacksonville Jaguars winning at plus 730 with a draw from the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. I put $3 on this. It's 71,280, just $3. It's the dumbest bet I've ever made. But just in case things get crazy, that thing pays out $2,100. Wait, Dino's saying that this has happened in the NBA before?
Yeah,
Oh,
1982. West Germany versus Austria. Weren't you paying attention?
was that what was that? Football? Was that just two soccer teams that were like, yep, we're just gonna dribble this thing around? Wow.
I don't think they dribble in soccer, do they?
Do
they dribble in soccer?
I think you dribble. I think you're dribbling with your feet.
That's called dribbling?
Man, I'm trying to remember my AYSO days. Oh, it was World Cup soccer. Wow, that I should know that, first of all. Like, we should know that.
Wow.
That's yeah, it is dribbling. All right. Yeah, I thought so. That threw you, huh?
Well, I mean, Jason Ferrari's the big soccer expert. You know, I'm more of a football, Japanese professional wrestling connoisseur. You know, soccer, only the most popular sport in the world I know nothing about. They kick the ball back and forth. I know that much.
People must have been shocked. That's crazy. Wow.
Man, Yugoslavia gets screwed again. Those poor Yugoslavians.
It did. That's unreal. But I'm guessing that would cost the Colts their spot, is what it seems like. That's where it'd be. That's insane. If that's the way the cookie falls, that would be nuts. Goodell would be pissed.
What do you think that means, the way the cookie falls?
I don't think it means anything. I think it's...
And that's the way the cookie crumbles, I think, is the actual expression. But what are they saying? It doesn't matter because it's a crumbled cookie regardless?
We're learning about soccer rules here, Al. Stealing the ball from an opponent who is dribbling is...
Now you got me on cookies.
What kind of cookie should I get for Hazel?
What?
We did ice cream 2 days in a row last week.
Shitty ice cream or good ice cream?
Oh, yeah. Wilson's right. Ultimo Dragon was talking mad smack about you. Actually, it was custard. Custard from Culver's because it was drive-through.
Oh, custard doesn't count.
To take him to get tested, like we got him ice cream first, you know?
They have to get the nose swabs?
Yeah.
Do they hate it?
Well, Hazel's doing it every week at school, but now they're sick of it. Like, they're done, so it sucks. So I'm actually, I don't know. I think I'm going to wait till they're sleeping tonight, see what happens.
A blind squirrel's right twice a day. But right about what? What are squirrels right about?
They're right about where they found their nut. Like, they dig their hole to find their nut.
I'm willing to wager that if we could find a blind squirrel, its survival rate would be very low. Very low. Like, it would be happy to get the coronavirus. So I'm not certain that a blind squirrel is right twice a day, unless he's talking about a clock. Because a broken clock is right twice a day.
Squirrel doesn't want any Omicron shit. It wants the full-fledged, like, give me the original.
Justice for Hazel. Justice for Tulsa. We got to get our guy his money. They should pay him. Even though it was a no-cash league. They should pay him for that horrible correction.
Man. I just Googled blind squirrel, and I found a place in Louisville called the Blind Squirrel.
But they don't have a blind squirrel. And if they do, they're probably feeding the blind squirrel. They're probably giving the food, making sure the squirrel knows where it is. But I got to think a blind squirrel in the wild is a dead squirrel.
Well, I just found a story, and I thought it was case of the eyeless squirrel provides insight into the natural world. I thought it was going to be very lovely. Everything was going to be great. And it starts out with no hope of long-term survival in the wild. The blind squirrel was humanely euthanized and submitted to the Ontario region of the Canadian Wildlife Health for autopsy.
Jesus. What are they doing an autopsy on a squirrel for? My God,
I think
this world is it's blown. My mind is blown. I don't know how we got to blind squirrels with autopsies, but the fact that that exists just makes me crazy.
well, my mother's very lucky that she's a human and not a
Yes, humans can survive. Blind humans can
Absolutely.
survive.
squirrel.
Justice
Absolutely.
for blind humans. I
If you
stand by
want to
what
join in and discuss
Bad news, Brian Cruz.
blind animals, 760-454-8834. 760-454-8834. That's the Joseph Finder to me hotline. I don't know how long we're gonna roll with this. I might have to get upstairs and help because she's feeling a little bit worse than I was. The taste today, Al. She couldn't taste anything.
Uh-oh.
And she at first thought it was a congestion. Lauren,
Well,
is. But then she was able to taste hot sauce.
That doesn't sound like the Omni. That sounds like the Delta.
Well, that's the thing. That's the interesting thing there. Like
because if you have the Omni,
very Omni. Do you remember the car, the Omni, that little box looking thing?
No.
My mom, my aunt, my uncles, they all had it because the Chrysler plant was there in Belvedere.
Oh my God, it got worse. Yugoslavia didn't get screwed. Algeria got screwed. Als are always getting screwed. Always, man. No justice for Als.
Hot sauce is a good check for Delta. Wait, so Dino, are you saying that hot sauce is a good check for Delta? So if you can taste it, then you don't have the Delta? Is that the guess there? Like I'm all about, we're not doctors. None of us here are. Lawyers and whatnot are around, but no doctors. But I'm all about
Lawyers
trying.
Don't count as
like I've been trying some hippie stuff. Like, I taken a combination of this supplement with Benadryl because I read a thing that it can kill the corona. I don't give a shit.
I told you NYPD blew in Manhattans, but you didn't listen. Would have gotten rid of it like that.
When the hell are we going to have our Christmas drinking show? Because it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, maybe next week.
It might be we'll have a cold winter night.
I got some of that Puerto Rican eggnog, and that was good, man.
We should do it over at the Wiener Circle with our show. We can go out now. We got the power up, so.
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll do the Christmas drinking show.
We'll do a bit of a hot toddy here, so.
Well, look, I went to the store yesterday to get a cider. I grabbed the Angry Orchard. I'm all excited, and then I find out it's peach mango that just tastes like ass.
Mango?
Peach mango. It's brutal.
I'll be damned. It can't be terrible.
Oh, it's horrible.
New Year's Day, we kept the tradition. I was downstairs drinking mimosas and frozen pizza. That's our New Year's Day tradition. So
it's like White Claw fucked Bartles and James.
Peach mango. There it is. Larcher on Parkins and Spiegel one day, they had the Coach Wani on there. He's from Pittsburgh and he likes Steel City beer.
Yeah.
They slipped him a mango Steel City beer. And he drank and he goes, "This isn't the stuff they make in Pittsburgh." And it sure was. He tried to call. He has the president on his phone. He tried to call him live on the show and got his voicemail. He was so
That's
pissed
funny.
he put a peach in his beer. He goes, "They don't work in the steel mills and then drink this shit." It was fantastic.
No, the man is right. He was wrong about football, but man, he's right about his beer. They really need to get mangoes out of beverages.
Okay. All beverages.
It was fun. It was fun in the early 90s when Arizona started releasing some mango drinks.
The Arizona tea.
A mango here, a mango there. But now everything's got a mango. And mango, it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm over the mango. I'm behind the mango. I'm all for mango. And I wish him the best. But mangoes, man, old news.
Mangoes maybe in the smoothies, maybe. I don't know.
A smoothie is a very personal choice. You can do whatever you want. Your smoothies.
Coach
but
Ryan,
I'm talking about
how do you drink a frozen pizza? I think I misspoke. Drink a mimosa, eat a frozen pizza.
I don't know, but I've seen Clark sleeping sitting up, so it's possible he does have a way to drink frozen pizza with rum. That's a good idea.
Anything worth trying is worth giving it a shot.
Mwah.
I always say that. Anything worth trying is worth giving it a shot, pal. Hang on. I wanna go to DraftKings here because we've got to discuss your week, Al.
So that Seattle stack, All right.
Yep.
Russ Wilson goes for he's 6,200, puts up 27 points, almost 28 points. You stack him with DK Metcalf. Metcalf goes off for 30.90 points at 6,500. You stack him with the running back Rashad Penny, 6,100. He puts up 35.5 points. So right there, man, you have three players who've averaged at about 32 points apiece. You run that stack back with St. Brown of the Lions. He was 6K. He puts up 38.4 points. So now you have a stack that nobody owns. Nobody has that stack. You're one of the few people playing it. You're in the 1 percentile, and you already have, 30, 60, 90, 120 points just like that. And the rest is just, fill in the blanks. I put up 205 points with that team, got me 25th out of, I think, 25,000 people. And
Okay.
my only bust, I played Ron Jones, who, by the way, was chalk. He puts up 3.7 points. If I would have gotten off the chalk, I would have been all right there.
How in the hell is that possible with Fournette out? I don't understand how that went so piss poor. And you have one of your receivers who won't go in the damn game and runs off during it. And you're still not getting Ronald Jones the ball.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because, the coaching staff hates Ronald Jones. Everybody hates Ronald Jones. And there's competition. There was competition. There was known risk going into that. Like, it wasn't a layup. There was concern with him. And of all the chalky running backs, he was the one that was kind of like, probably shouldn't play him. But the opportunity, the ceiling was real. So you couldn't completely avoid him. I had Brandon Cooks. He came off COVID, and I saw a statistic where players coming off of the COVID have a 10% dip in production, but he's been so consistent you can't not play him. So at 6K, he put up 19 points. I had Tyler Higbee as my tight end. He puts up 12 points at 4K. And I played the Los Angeles Chargers as my defense. They put up 11 points. So, 205 points. Good team, good game. I wish I was in a higher stake tournament, but because it was week 16, there wasn't even a milli maker this week.
Oh, no?
I don't think so, unless it was full, which I don't think it was.
I think
the 50 cent. My 50 cent game, which normally plays for $5,000 or $15,000 and has like 250,000 entries, that game was reduced to like 100,000 players, and the top of prize I think was 500. So there was just like a really big reduction in prize payouts this week. So I was really uninspired. Once I put my teams in, I'm like, man, even if I have a great week, I'm not going to make any money. That's why I went to sleep. As a matter of fact, I'm going to lose money because I'm putting in more money than the top prize, and the chance of winning the top prize is impossible. So it was a dumb week. This week, I'm just going to play. I think I'm going to play two teams in the $150 3-entry max game, which I think has a top prize of like $100,000, and it's only like 4,000 players. So I'm just going to really put my head to playing. Consistency, guys who consistently play.
Do you think you should
we know, Clark.
Harder on your cash game at all, or?
Well, that's not a cash game. That's a tournament game, Clark, and it's a small field tournament. And no, I think it's fine. I think I took second this week. I know you won again. Like you think you're hot shit, but you also ran off everybody. Part of the beauty of why I set up this league was it was supposed to be a league where guys share and they learn from each other. But every time I ask you how you do it, I don't know. I don't have time to do it. It just happens. So because of that, you're saying you have no skill and you're just lucky. So I'm just not impressed anymore. So good for you, Clark. Let's give him a big round of applause. Clark won another week. Yay. But we're down to only 5 people playing.
And now we're down to 0.5 between you and I. Yeah, are you saying that I need to lower my standards of playing? Should I play down to my competition?
No, I think you're supposed to, we're supposed to grow. Like, I helped you grow as a player. I told you how you make yourself better. And you've gotten better. And now you've gotten good, but you won't share your information. You won't share your ideas. You won't help contribute. You won't help contribute to the knowledge of the game. So I've grown the man, and the man has walked out on me. So good for you, Clark. Congratulations. My ROI, my penis size model, still massive compared to your small victories. But congratulations, pal. I'm glad you got better.
Where's the trophy?
I have the trophy.
If you would just agree to remove the asterisk, I would absolutely talk a little bit more about it. But right now, what I'm willing to tell you is that I listen to a podcast on Fridays. I write down names that they mention. Then I go and I look around a few places over there on the Fantasy Pros. And I hear names like David Montgomery be a good idea. Lance, you want to spend down? Go with Trey Lance. Oh, Singletary'd be a good one this week. Elton St. Brown's probably the only one from the Lions you want to play. Jay Waddle, take a flyer on him. He didn't do so well. Antonio Brown was chalk, didn't produce, right? Jonathan Taylor, you're spending up on him. He didn't even produce for me. But somehow, I won the damn week, Al. I don't know how the hell. That's it. That's all I do.
I don't know. I just win. I don't know.
I listen to you. You say in these small tournaments like this, in cash games, play the chalk guys. And that's what I do. I listen to you. This is your model. So just keep playing your model and you're bound to overcome. Maybe next year I won't win 8 out of 17 games. You
won't. It's statistically it's not happening. But congratulations on your big year.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'll do what I can. I had no idea that I won that game. I had stopped looking at it because I didn't think there was a way I could beat you because we were both playing Lance. I was in third. Ross was in first. You were in second the last I saw. I went back to watching things, and then I got a text from Ross saying, how the hell did that happen? I don't know. I was in sixth until halftime of the second games.
See, Ross, I don't ask any advice from. I mean, the guy doesn't win. But you, I try, I say, hey, look, man, you're doing good. What's the catch? What's the deal? Where's the edge? I just told
you what I do.
Where are you learning?
I just got done telling you.
Well, what's the name of what's the name of this podcast?
It's the Fantasy Footballers. Their Friday one.
Friday
the Fantasy Footballers. Their Friday one. DFS for the rest of us. The podcast goes. They're like cash attack, and then they're stack attack. Straight cash, homie. They have all these little drops that they play.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever heard it?
I might. I don't think I have it on my list, but it would have been nice to know that weeks ago.
I assume that
so I could have given that. I could have given them a try. I could have given them to see, because the big thing with fantasy football is you have to limit your data streams. You have to limit what information you're gathering. And you got to weed out bad information, because that's the death of everything. You don't want to be overexposed. You don't want to listen to that really hot chick on the football channel, who does the fantasy shows. Because sometimes I'll come home and that show will be on, and where they go through all the good fantasy plays of the week.
Uh-huh.
That show is bad. That's what the dumb people are watching. And I mute it. The girl, I don't know the host's name, but she's gorgeous. I mute it so I can still watch her in the background while I work on my actual data.
Well, I just don't think ESPN is putting up the best of things. Oh, you know what? I just got called out. I'm going to blame that one, Dino, on the COVID brain here. I forgot to change that on the Twitch title. That's right. Hang on. Let me see if I can get that changed now. We'll do it. Yep. Larcher.
What?
Hang on. I'm trying to change this. That's what I do to figure it out. I don't think the people on ESPN, I've never found them to be very helpful, or on the mainstream shows either.
Well, they're talking to a vast audience. They're giving you the McDonald's information of fantasy. And they're all knowledgeable for the most part, but they're not speaking the same language that you need to win actual money. They're giving you mass information. They're talking a lot of chalk is what they're doing. Yeah. So the information there just isn't what you need, and it also tends to put players on really chalky guys that everyone is talking about, like they'll suggest to Jay Patterson, who was stepping in as running back this week, over in the Washington Redskins with Gibson going out. They'll talk a guy like that up, who actually is a bad play. He actually turned out to be a really good play this week. But, I mean, generally speaking, those plays don't turn out. He put up 20 DraftKings points at 4.8. So he was a decent play. But, yeah, it's a lot of that. It's getting people on things that just don't matter.
Right. I'm with you. Hey, I think we got a Vikings fan in there. Zach Skull. Thanks for joining us. Skull. Like the Vikings.
Skull, absolutely.
You got any clue who you think the Vikings can go with?
Well,
I
that's
don't
not
even
their
know who
horn.
the Bears are going with right now.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what that team needs. I mean, they got such a good offense. They have so many pieces. You know, Thielen's aging out. Thielen's aging out a little bit. So, but you have Justin Jefferson, who's, you know, dominant, arguably the best wide receiver in football. Him and Jamar Chase are in the conversation of like the best young wide receivers. You have Delvin Cook, who I'm not sure what his legal problems are going to be. I don't know if all that blows over and it turns out, you know, he's in the right or maybe he's in the wrong. That could go either way. But regardless, Matson's a really good backup. But yeah, their coach needs to go. You know,
I heard that he's just so dead set on trying to get the run going. It's kind of the opposite of Nagy. Like they were down against they couldn't get it moving against the Packers. They were getting their asses kicked, and they're still just trying to run it with Cook. They were trying to against the Bears. You saw it. Anytime they passed, they could get the pass off, but they weren't moving the ball running. And sure, they won the game pretty big, but I don't even know. Don?
Yeah, I mean, I think they pass fine. I like their offense, but Zimmer, I don't know, man. He's just not. He's gone a little crazy. I know that he's gotten a little grumpy, and it's time. It sounds like Vikings fans are ready to see him go, and I think there's enough evidence there that it is time to make a change.
Dino think the guy that we know his name, John DeFilippo. Could be a good guy up there. Yeah, I don't know. So we're going to see 2 coaching changes for sure in the NFC North.
Does Zimmer still have the really young wife or the girlfriend? Like, I know the dude was like a player for a while.
Oh, no. I'm thinking
she was like an Instagram model, or
I'm thinking of David Ross. I think he's with one of the stars of the Chicago Fire show these days, which still filming around here. I love when things are filming here in Chicago. So, oh, there it is. His wife passed away, and he's got a young lady girlfriend there.
Yeah, I mean, she's like 40. She's not. You know, I don't want to misrepresent Yugoslavia. So she was probably upset that earlier they were mislabeled as losing out. You know, when it turned out to be the Algerians. But yeah, a 40-year-old model from Duluth, Minnesota. You know, the guy just doesn't seem like he'd be a player, you know, but he is. Yeah, so it's time just to maybe move on, make a change in Minnesota.
Al, all right, Zach's got some thoughts on it too. Even on defense, we have so many pieces: Barr, Kendricks, Hunter, Griffin, Peterson, Harrison, Smith, all these other guys, Pro Bowl guys, yet 2 seasons they can't make the playoffs. Mike fans feel we should be challenging the Packers for the title and a Super Bowl. I mean, hell, things look a hell of a lot more up right now for them than they do for the Bears. That sounds like a new coach puts them a little bit closer than what it does the current Chicago Bears. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, watched a little Japanese wrestling last night. January 4th, of course, the big Thunderdome shows. They go to the Tokyo Dome, and they have their big show.
How many years has it been since you were in Tokyo at the Tokyo Dome for the big Wrestle Kingdom show?
It looks like it's been 4 years.
So 2017, 2018.
Yeah, that sounds right. According to Facebook memories, it says 4 years ago. Feels like it was a lot longer.
Yeah,
but,
no shit.
Yeah, I went to Wrestle Kingdom. I believe I was at 12. and they're at 16 right now. So 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 4 years ago. It's now a 2-night event. It used to be just a 1-night event.
What did you say? Now
So-
they're extending it for a third night with another promotion.
Yeah, they're doing 3 nights this year, but they're doing like a joint promotion deal where they're going up against like the other big Japanese company. They're doing a kind of a joint show, I think, to kind of help each other out from COVID. Yeah, so last night the big show aired from the Tokyo Dome. It was night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom, and really cool night. They are very restricted. When I went, I think there were 30,000 people there. Last night there were about 13,000 because they've reduced seating, and you're not allowed to cheer. You're only allowed to clap. So there's dead silence. There's an audience there, but it's very much like watching wrestling during the COVID shows when there were no audiences in the American TV shows.
Right.
So that's it's a little striking. You do kind of feel like, oh man, I'm so used to an audience back now. And there's an audience there, but they don't make a lot of noise.
And I've noticed Japanese wrestling, I think a lot of the hits, there's a lot of yelling, a lot of, I hear a lot.
Yeah.
The mic seems to pick up too.
It's more physical, especially the Tokyo Dome shows. They go very physical. Like there's a lot of striking. There's a lot of like, oh my God, I think that guy might be dead. So
right.
But the big moment last night was there's this guy, Kitsura Shibata, and he is known as the wrestler. And he's just a guy who wears black trunks and wrestles. Like he's Daniel Bryan 100%. They're like the same guy. He's just a guy who goes to the ring. He strikes really hard. He'll do anything to win. He has this fighting spirit where he just wants to be the best. And wrestling is an art form, and he wants to be the best artist in there. And he's also got a nice, mixed martial art background. He's a tough dude. Well, in 2017, he was fighting for the world title at Genesis, one of the pay-per-views, against Okada. And Okada's main move is he goes for this clothesline. It's called the Rainmaker. And Okada's like the best wrestler in the world. And this guy has the most heart. And as Okada was about to go for the Rainmaker, Shibata headbutts him. And you just hear this thud. And Okada collapses. And Shibata just stares there with this dead look in his eye. And blood just starts dripping from his forehead. He ends up losing the match about 10 minutes later. They take him back to the back. And he had a subdural hematoma, and they put him in a coma, and he disappeared for about a year. Like there was no word on him. People were like, is he okay? Is he going to die? Is he ever going to walk again? There was reports, half his body was paralyzed, and it was a really ugly situation. Now this guy, his entire life is only identified as a wrestler. He is his career. He is a wrestler. His nickname, again, is the wrestler. So he's never going to wrestle again, like that's for sure. About 2 years later, they decide they're going to do a New Japan dojo in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So he ends up moving down to LA, and he becomes the head trainer down there. And he's been training these guys working in America. They bring some Japanese guys down there, and he trains them along with some Americans who are trying to get into New Japan. And because New Japan works through a dojo system. So in order to become a wrestler there, you start in the dojo, you train, you work your way up. Once you graduate from the dojo, they send you somewhere else in the world. They'll send you to Mexico. They'll send you to the United States. They'll send you, to Canada. And you'll work in a different company's promotion as an apprentice. And you learn a different style of wrestling from a different company. Then you take that knowledge, and then you come back, and you're reformatted into a wrestler within New Japan. And that's where your career really begins. And then you wrestle, and you become the biggest star in wrestling. And then you slowly age out, and you become a trainer, and you work your way down the card. It's not like, WWE, where a guy becomes a star, and then they retire, and they go to Hollywood. No, you stay within the New Japan system. It's a lifelong job. So This guy trains, whatever. And then about 6 months ago, he says, you know what? I've been cleared. I'm coming back to wrestle. And everyone's like, holy crap. You know, is it for real? So New Japan goes, okay, we're going to have this match. We're going to have a mystery opponent. I was hoping Daniel Bryan, even though that made no sense because he's got a world heavyweight title fight like a week.
Right.
But they come back, and then they announced about 3 weeks ago that it's going to be just a classic catch-can wrestling style match, so no striking. So it's going to be just a ground and pound type wrestling match, like a collegiate wrestling match. And so Shibata gets to the ring. They bring out his opponent. It's one of his students. It's Ren Narita, who was a young lion. Those are the guys, what they call the wrestlers before they go out on the excursion to another company. So he was a young lion last time I saw him. He comes out. He's got like a little goatee, but he embodies who this guy is. He's the same kind of dude as Shibata. And he's a student of a Shibata. So it's teacher versus student. And in Shibata's big return match, Shibata gets to the ring. He grabs a microphone and he makes an announcement. He goes, "This is going to be a real wrestling match. Absolutely, I'm not wrestling the catch can style. We're going real wrestling. We're doing a pro wrestling match." And I guess he that was a shoot. I guess he wasn't supposed to, but he said, "To hell with it. If I'm in a match, I'm in a match. What are they going to do?"
Right.
They go, and like you expect this kind of like weak match where, it's the guy's first time back, and it's just going to be nice to see him. You're going to get a nice applause. No, this guy goes hard, and basically he murders Ren Narita. I think he broke the kid's nose. He just beats the hell out of him. He helped the kid up at the end, but my God, he whipped that kid's ass. And he's back. He says he's back full time, and I'm very excited. He's 42 years old, so there's not a lot of mileage left in Shibata. But man, people are starting to talk about dream matches. With some of those AEW guys. CM Punk versus Shibata, Daniel Bryan versus Shibata.
There you go.
Like, there's some exciting things out there. But yeah, it was a beautiful moment to see this guy come back to the sport he loves and be able to compete at a high level. And I think it was probably a 4-star match when you were expecting probably like just a 2-star emotional match. Yeah. Show kicked off with Yo versus Show. They used to be, when I went to the Tokyo Dome a couple years ago, 4 years ago, they were tag team. They were a tag team. So this is like the Shawn Michaels.
We saw them here somewhere.
We did. Yeah. They came to a Ring of Honor show.
What's the place there in Villa Park? The Odeum?
The Odeum in Villa Park. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That place.
Great wrestling and great haunted houses. So, so yeah, they have their little they have their match. It was good. A lot of cheating, and Yo defeated Show with Dick Togo interfering because Yo is now a member of the Bullet Club, and Dick Togo is one of the managers there. So Yo and Dick Togo beat Show. Okay. So you had the Bullet Club take on Tanahashi and the Mega Coaches, Taguchi and Romero. That was just kind of a fun match, get people excited. Will Ospreay and the United Empire, that's his stable. Will Ospreay, of course, the local Warrior champion. He came out with the Warrior belt.
Did he?
Yeah, he came out with all the titles he had, and one of them was the Warrior title. Him, the Great O'Khan, and Jeff Cobb defeated Los Ingobernables, and they won by pinfall. Tonight, Will Ospreay will be going up against Kazuchika Okada for the World Heavyweight title. That's the main event of tonight's show. Yep. So Ospreay, the local champion here, is going for the New Japan World title tonight. Night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom. That's going to be very, very
Did
good
he
match.
Did he hold their big title?
He did, and then he had to give it up because of an injury. Okay. So he's claiming he's the real champion. And Okada last night called him in English fake champion. He got the mic. He's like, "You fake champion." Yeah. So, Ospreay versus Okada tonight's going to be a killer. Evil, who everybody hates. Evil beat Ishii. Everybody loves this guy Ishii. Everyone hates Evil because, he's evil. So Evil, with the help of Dick Togo, did defeat Tomohiro Ishii by pinfall for the Never Openweight Championship 12 minutes. I was sad. Everybody, of course, wanted Ishii to win. Chaos defeated the Dangerous Techers, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. To win the tag team titles. Chaos is Goto and Yoshihashi. I hate Yoshihashi. I cannot stand Yoshihashi.
No,
He comes to the ring with a shower curtain.
What?
So
Anybody who comes to the ring with a shower curtain, don't trust him now.
no. In the semi-main event for the lightweight title, El Desperado defeated Hiromu Takahashi. I'm a big Takahashi fan. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. You know, he's just this crazy young dude. He broke his neck a couple years ago. You know, he was out for about a year and a half, 2 years with his neck healing. He came back. He's been the lightweight champion. El Desperado is one of the coolest looking wrestlers you'll ever see. He's a masked guy. You know, he claims to be a Spanish luchador, but in reality, I believe he's a Japanese man. And so El Desperado beats El Desperado. Really, you know, he's a guy you don't think of in the lightweight division, and he proved himself in that match, and it was pretty damn good. And then in the main event, the champion Shingo Takagi lost his title in 35 minutes and 44 seconds from a Rainmaker from Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada back on top of the mountain, back as the king of the king of sports, and Okada tonight versus Will Ospreay. Will Okada be able to maintain? Ospreay came out after the match and basically said, "Hey, look, you just went through a 35-minute war to win the title. I basically had the night off, so I'm gonna sleep good tonight." And you know, Okada was standing there, his eye busted open. You know, he's probably going to have a black eye tonight, and he's going to have to fight through the pain of a brutal contest and do it 2 nights in a row if he wants to maintain his IWGP World Heavyweight title. So very excited. Kenta, the evil Kenta, is the United States champion. Hiroshi Tanahashi wants that title. Hiroshi Tanahashi is basically the John Cena of Japan. You know, he was the guy who carried the company the same time where Cena did in America. Both of them kind of left to do movies. But Hiroshi Tanahashi, he comes back tonight to fight Kenta, you know, at 45 years old, as the former ace of the company, to take the United States title. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Tetsuya Naito, who was in the main event against Ospreay when I went to the Tokyo Dome, he's fighting Jeff Cobb tonight. Those are two. Jeff Cobb is a big old boy, big Hawaiian, you know, 39 years old from Hawaii, big muscle dude, power lifter, and an Olympic wrestler versus Naito, who's just one of the coolest wrestlers you'll ever see. So exciting stuff. Those are the 3 main matches tonight.
What time does it go live?
Starts at 1:30, but that's kind of like the pre-show stuff. The real stuff should start about 3-4 in the morning. That's when you're getting into the good matches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
That's great. I might try to catch some of it in the morning if I get some. You know, we're all here right now. I don't know if I'll maybe have it on the TV when the kids wake up. That way they can't commandeer anything or whatnot. I'd like to watch that main event for sure. I always enjoy watching it. Wrestle Kingdom's about the most of my New Japan watching, as you know.
Yeah.
But
their 2 biggest shows of the year are Wrestle Kingdom and Sakura Genesis. I like Genesis a little better, and then of course the G1.
That's great. Hey, we got somebody on hold over here on the Joseph's Finest Meats hotlines, a Chicago number. Do you want to take a call? I know I've got to get up. I've got to get upstairs here shortly, so we'll wrap it up here shortly after this call, if you don't mind.
All right, let's go.
It's a heck of a time. Let's go to the caller in the 312. How you doing, 312?
Elijah from Tampa, Texas. How y'all doing?
We're doing swell, brother.
Doing great. It's always good to hear from you, sir. How's Texas treating you?
Oh man, it was 83 on Christmas and 82 on New Year's Eve. So not too bad.
That'll do. That isn't bad at all. What brings you here to our Chicago show tonight? I've got a guess of something you may want to discuss.
Yes, sir. It's the Bears.
Ugh.
I read a very interesting
Ugh.
article on Yahoo about some of the coaching prospects, and I'd like to hear your opinions on some of these names that I've read. I don't know too much about it, but again, I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Let's roll.
Jim Harbaugh.
No.
I'm a Michigan fan.
Pass.
He had
You
some
know what?
success with the 49ers. He's through a lot of my childhood, he was the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I don't know. I could be talked into it. Next.
Supposedly interested in the Raiders position. But
Wow.
yeah, not so sure. Now some of these, I don't know the names, but I recognize it. So you have the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator.
Is that Leftwich?
No, yes, Leftwich, yes.
Sounds like he's been biting to get his shot.
I'm going to say, okay, so Harbaugh, I want to hear all the names before I make a final decision on Harbaugh. So I'm putting him to the side. I wouldn't be devastated if we went with Jim Harbaugh. I would be curious. As far as Brian Leftwich, absolutely not for me. That's a hard no. I just think he's not ready yet, man. I just don't want to take a chance on a guy that young. I don't know. You know, he's surrounded by great coaches. I think he's going to be a great coach, but he's coaching Tom Brady, you know?
Uh-huh.
So
Exactly.
let's kind of like cool our jets on that one.
All right.
Yep. Okay. Defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did you guys? And then that begs the question: would you guys even want a defensive person, or would you want to stay with an offensive mind person?
Todd Bowles.
Offensive minded.
Going to get his chance again. You know, Al, Hub says that you don't have to go offensive minded. Belichick, what's he known as? Defensive minded coach.
Being an exceptional head coach. There's
go.
very few true head coaches, and he's a head coach.
Well, then who to say that Todd Bowles didn't learn from his mistakes with the Jets? He's a 50-year-old man.
I'll say it.
How he could do it.
He didn't learn from his mistakes as a Jets. He's not the guy. Pass.
What's next?
The Patriots offensive coordinator.
Nope.
Yeah. Is he going to leave, or is he going to hang out until Belichick retires? That's my thought there. I think he might be sticking around.
Why wouldn't he leave?
Guys from the Belichick coaching tree tend not to work out.
You consider him a good candidate.
Yeah. Next.
Okay. The Ravens offensive coordinator. This one was interesting for me.
Well,
Greg Roman.
Another. I don't know. I'd have to really look at it. I feel like the Ravens really took a step back offensively this year. Lamar Jackson hasn't been the same guy. He's fighting a lot of injuries, and you know he's a unique player, and he's one of those guys. You know there are certain players that are like basketball players that you know when you have a great basketball player, he can control an offense, he can take over a game, and it's all about that guy. And I feel like the Baltimore Ravens have that with Lamar Jackson. He's a guy who takes over games and can single-handedly win or lose games. So how much of it is, just Lamar Jackson versus how much of it is a good offensive mind? I'd be a little cloudy on that, so I'm just going to pass. It's just there's not enough clarity to the ceiling, and I think I know what the basement is. So I'm going to pass.
Yep, I pass.
Go ahead, Clark. I'm sorry.
No, I pass for the same reasons. I don't know if it's the Lamar show that's going on. Or I do know that the offense has been in a pretty big rut for the Ravens for the last month. He's been out a bit, but yeah, I don't know.
You got to pass on Roman unless you have erectile dysfunction.
Hey,
according to Dino.
No, Dino.
Head coach of the Ohio State.
That's the one that's getting a lot of talk, right? You know, that was back. Trace Armstrong's his agent, former Bear Trace Armstrong. There was that report out there that Armstrong had been talking with the Bears about a position in management, meaning that they would probably bring in Coach Day from the Ohio State Buckeyes. He used to coach Justin Fields, right?
Okay.
Are you gonna go to a college coach? Is that what
How-
we're gonna do? How often does that work?
Yeah, man. I don't know. It makes me nervous. It really does. Anytime they start talking college coaches and bringing somebody from the outside in, it seldom works because college is just such a different animal than the NFL. You know, college coaches have so much control and so much power over with recruiting through just running the organization. Where you're not going to get that in Chicago. The fact that he coached Justin Fields is. I mean that's cool, but I don't think that makes a huge difference when you get right down to it. Who's the new hot candidate from the CFL? Yeah, let's find the new
Tressman,
I don't even remember Tressman. Ugh.
one-time
quote Lou,
offensive coordinator of the Ravens, if you will. Yep. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those are all the names that I remembered. Again, I was kind of with you guys where nothing really impressed me. I thought the Lamar Jackson comparison to Justin Fields was interesting. I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing the pendulum of the NFL kind of swing back to scrambling quarterbacks again, which would be kind of the Lamar Jackson. But okay, so hearing all those candidates, would you keep Nagy on for another year?
No, I would take Harbaugh over any of them, and definitely I would take any of them over Nagy. I mean, which is a pretty strong statement. I would take any of them. They're all greater than Nagy. Harbaugh greater than them would be my my equation there. But I'm still in the Daboll camp. I still want Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills.
All right, you're still on it.
Daboll.
As I've said, he looks like a Bears
Now-
coach. I'm in.
Now, just give me a yes or no if these two coaches will be in the pool of candidates. Will they be fired? I've heard Pete Carroll from the Seahawks getting fired.
Ooh. Larcher says no, it sounds
No,
like.
No,
okay, and then
I don't want a 70-year-old coach who's only above average.
Sean Payton. What
Sean
do you
Payton.
think?
Naperville boy.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm okay with Sean Payton. I like the idea of Tobe too. I like the concept of Tobe, but much like some religions or some politics, I think he's better in concept than he is as he would be in the actual head coach. I don't know though. I mean, it would be a hell of an experiment, and it feels like an experiment the Bears would make, and it would just end terribly.
I'd be down with Sean
Yeah, I
Payton,
don't think-
but that probably means Ryan Pace
Yeah,
is
I would
sticking
be.
around, right?
I think they'll keep Ryan Pace.
I think Pace is staying too.
I even heard of a promotion, kind of like what the Cubs did, move him to
With
management
Theo.
of football,
Yeah.
and then he hires a GM,
Yep.
which I think they're stupid enough to do.
I've heard that too. Hub reported today that
Of armpits.
he's got sources in there saying that Pace is likely to stick around.
Yeah, and
So,
my sources
let's see
too.
if he gets moved to that. If you can get another football guy in there to be there with him, please do. I mean, anything right now. Boom.
Yeah, my sources back up what Hub is saying. That it looks like Pace is staying, and it's not the guy who changes the Pepsi machine. It's not Tommy.
Okay, very, very good, Clark. I know you're not feeling well and you want to get back to your family, so I won't take too much more of your time. Thanks for your input, guys, and have a good one. And I'll get a hold of you next week if I can.
Please join us next week, brother. It's always
Great call, man. Thank you.
great to hear from you. Thanks for the great call. Have a good night, man. Say hi to Texas.
All
I
right,
hope
guys.
your family. Well, brother, was there anything else that we needed to get out before we call this one a night?
Let's see. What did I feel like I watched something recently?
I
Nothing's
got
coming to
caught up
mind.
on the 9 episodes of Dexter New Blood while I was here in my basement. I had watched the first episode a long time ago or a while back. Wasn't too interested in catching up. A friend of mine told me to pick it back up, and the season is actually pretty darn good. Oh yeah, did you catch the Madden doc yet there, Al?
I turned it on in the background and I didn't watch it.
Man.
It
was so good. It was, I mean, it's the childhood right there, Al.
Yeah.
Boom. He changed it. Remember circling anything. The way he did the game, it speaks of my childhood. And let me tell you, I remember that he was on CBS, but mostly for me, I remember him being Fox. I mean, 94 is when they got him, when they got the football deal over there at Fox. They brought Madden in right away. I remember him in Summerall as the Fox team more than I do the CBS. I certainly don't remember him as the head coach, like the generation ahead of us. I mean, shit, I think he retired in 79, the year that 2 great podcast hosts in Chicago were born.
Yes. I think what they need to do is fix the goddamn John Madden franchise on the EA games to honor this man and stop scamming me of money year in and year out.
That's it. That's what he says. Fix it. Get it right.
Yeah, John Madden was like one of the first broadcasters I remember, especially with football. And I remember like one of my friends' dads hated him. I remember other people liked him. I always found him enjoyable. I loved him and Pat Summerall. The guy was like dust in the wind. Summerall was, and he had the charisma of a button, but John Madden had so much charisma. It was like just a great combination of personality, and I thought they really meshed well together. And it's sad. But it was time. It was time, man. It was time for him to go. I will check out the documentary. I look forward to it. I'll probably shed a tear. We lost John Madden. We lost Betty White. Just trying to think of, like, there's been a couple passings.
I might rewatch quite a few Golden Girls here while we're going. W. Wilson had said he watched all of the new Cobra Kai season 4. So what I did was I started catching up on season 3 last night. I'm on episode 4 of season 3, so I'll have a full 2 seasons to roll with there. As always, thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. Al, thank you for hanging out with me.
Been a pleasure, Clark. Thank you.
I missed it. It's good to be back. I don't think I can see you for a few days. Well, hell, you could probably come over. We should be back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And soon after that, wherever you grab your podcasts. No, JD passed away too, man. I've never seen a podcaster so universally loved as him.
Yeah.
And what's been done for his son is absolutely remarkable.
It is. It's a wonderful thing.
The chapter there. What's that?
It was the hardest upvote I ever had to give on Reddit was the Packers, donating money to the JD Memorial Fund because it was the Packers and you wanted to make fun of them, but it was such a nice gesture. So it's a horrible situation all around. But that is a silver lining that the kid at least is set up seemingly for getting into adulthood. So
sounds like he's
financially, emotionally,
probably be able to do college scholarships for baseball too. Sounds like
Yeah.
he's a really good athlete. But all right, brother. Have a good night.